coming to Pakistan?
We'll tell you shortly. Please wait.
All right. Perfect. Thank you, Farooq Saab, and hello, everyone. My name is Qazi Rahman. I'm the international recruiter here at St. Mary's University. And basically, I primarily work with undergraduate students planning to come to Canada, especially like St. Mary's University. They're undergraduate. So yeah, that's me. I basically work with students from Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Bermuda, and a few other countries. So yes, very much looking forward to the event today. So first, let's talk a little bit about St. Mary's University, where we are located. So St. Mary's is primarily an undergraduate university with 7,000 students, and we are located in Halifax, Nova Scotia. I'll get into that. But before coming to St. Mary's, why you should choose Canada as your study destination, I'll quickly go over that, and then we'll come into why St. Mary's. So as you know, Canada is one of the it is the second largest country in the world in terms of landmass. So it's a very big country. It stretches from all the way from Atlantic Ocean on one end, where St. Mary's University is located, if you can see on the cursor here, and it stretches all the way to the Pacific Ocean on the west coast, which is British Columbia on the other side. So it's a big country. There's a lot of resources that is there in Canada. It's a country with 10 provinces. So Canada has 10 provinces. If you see, each of these boxes are like a different province, and it has 3 territories, which is Nunavut, Northwest Territories, and Yukon. These are more on the northern side. So there are some stereotypes about Canada that we get to hear. I think for people who haven't traveled to Canada before, like myself, when I was coming to St. Mary's University 10 years back, I thought that Canada, there's winter all year round. So it's not true. It doesn't snow all year round. We have a winter season. The thing is, we have a beautiful summer as well, when you can see the trees are all green. It's a beautiful time of the year. You can go out, play your favorite sport. That being said, the winter in Halifax is much milder than any other places in Canada. This year, where most of the Canadian provinces are getting like heavy snowfall, Halifax, by this time of the year, we had only 1 snowfall. The weather has been pretty good. It has been in positives mainly, even though it's winter. So yeah, we don't live in igloos. It is cold in winter. It can get cold depending on your what you can bear, but it's not that bad, to be honest. And I'll show that in a little bit as well. Canada is a very safe and stable country. If you look at some of the countries that are there, like that are top choices for students in the world, for example, US, Canada, Australia, and some other places, if we compare it, Canada is very safe and stable in terms of socially and financially. There's a great education system, and it is mostly publicly funded. That is another good thing. No matter which university you're going to Canada, the quality of education that you'll get in undergraduate level is very consistent all throughout. There is a good political system as well. It is ethnically very diverse. So as you know, the foundation of Canada is based on immigrants. So there's a lot of people coming in from all different parts of the world. And, it's making a very diverse country to be in. I see Umair has his hand raised. So Umair, do you have a question? Okay. Hearing none, what I'll do is I'll move on to and as I said, I just want to let you know, if you have any questions, keep it noted somewhere. At the end, we'll have a Q&A session, and I'll answer all your questions that you might have. So if I know it's a lot of information, but if you want to wait till the end, we can do that as well. So the quality of education in Canada, as I said, it is very consistent all throughout all universities, because there are hardly any private universities or colleges in Canada. These are mostly publicly funded, which means that there's a high level of what do you call it, monitoring from the government on the quality of education, the requirements, and things like that. and it is one of the top spender in post-secondary education. And in Canada, it has the highest rate of adult population with a post-secondary education. So most of the people in Canada have at least a university or a post-secondary, either a college or a university degree. And university studies, as I said, like Canada, if we're ranging from all the universities, there are about 15,000 undergraduate programs that are offered in more than 100 universities. These are and the universities ranges from small to large. Professors are very caring. Most of the professors have a PhD degree. And we are constantly investing in cutting edge technology and research. There are a lot of research funding that is going on, and there's co-op education or internship. Co-op is more like an internship that we basically term it as, and there's co-op opportunity available in all areas of studies. I'll come back to more details on co-op. Another thing that attracts a lot of international students basically choosing a country is basically the work opportunity while you're studying and after your studies. So one good thing that I wanted to tell you is that if while you're studying in Canada, you are allowed to work 20 hours full time. But recently, the government of Canada has lifted that 20-hour limit, and you can work full time, which means that as a student, if you're a full-time student and you want to work full time, you can do that. If you can manage your studies and your work properly, you are more than, it's a temporary thing because we are having a labor shortage in Canada right now. So it's a temporary allowance that the government has made, but I think it's a big one for students. We have co-op internship that you can do, research projects, and after your studies are done, once you graduate, you get a 3-year postgraduate work permit, which means within that 3 year, you can work full time. And within that 3 year, if you have 1 year relevant job experience in any of the allowed NOC job category level, you can apply for your permanent residency like I did. So we need one, and after your permanent residency, you need to stay 2 years to get your citizenship. So it's a very straightforward process that is there. All right, so now let's come to where St. Mary's University is located. So this is basically the map of Canada. Here you have the US. So St. Mary's University is located on the east coast of Canada, which is right on the Atlantic Ocean, and Halifax is right here. It is in the center of all the major destinations. So it's a 2-hour flight, approximately 2-hour flight from Toronto and New York. It's a 7-hour flight from London. So it's a very accessible place that Halifax is located. And another reason that I wanted to say is the fact that we are very close to the ocean, our winters are very mild compared to if you start moving towards central Canada. So this is Ontario, sorry, this is Quebec, this is Ontario where Toronto is. I think then it's Winnipeg. So the central part of Canada gets very cold. It's like -30 on a normal. Their winters are longer, 6 months, whereas Halifax has a very short winter, 4 months, and even the winter is pretty mild. If I show you out of my window, it's all sunny, bright. There's no snow on the ground, whereas some of the other provinces have a heavy snowfall. Vancouver and Halifax has the best winters in Canada, because Vancouver is on the west coast, which is right on the Pacific Ocean. So now let's talk a little bit about Halifax. Halifax is not a very big city. I know when we hear about Canada, we think of Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, Calgary. Those are big metropolitan cities. Halifax is not like that. Halifax is a small city. We have about 500,000 people, but it has the flair of a big city with a small town charm. That's how I like to put it. Everything is close by for students. Like I lived in Toronto for 4 months. The commute can be a big one. Like, for example, you might be living on east and your work might be on the west. So you might have to travel 2 to 3 hours, 2 hours or 3 hours daily to make it to your work or your classes at times. Whereas in Halifax, Nova Scotia, it's a small city. It's very accessible. You can be around campus. There's lots of student housing. Though we're seeing a rental property shortage all across Canada that has affected Halifax also. but it's a very accessible city. You don't need to spend a lot of time in transit, like, while taking the bus and everything. It's very accessible. So the cursor here, basically, this is where St. Mary's University is, and this is basically the financial district. So it's about a 10 to 15-minute walk, all the major financial district here. And the hospital, the biggest hospital in Canada, QE2, is right here as well. And it overlooks the Atlantic Ocean that you can see right here. It's a beautiful scenic place. On the other side, this is another city called Dartmouth that we have. There's a bridge that connects, and there are ferries that are going there as well. Few things about Halifax as a city. We have been ranked as one of the best communities to live in Canada. It is one of the fastest growing city. Also, what I wanted to mention it to you is that St. Mary's University has been ranked the third undergraduate Canadian university, according to Maclean's magazine. This was based on student surveys. It's a very safe and welcoming city, and number 2 in Canada in terms of diversity and wage growth. Few other information about Halifax. As I said, we have the second warmest winter. I'll be surprised after this year's winter. It might be the first warmest winter in Canada. The ocean is very close, so anytime, if you're someone who loves water, there are, like, within 30 minutes drive, you have an ocean anywhere you go. It's a very university city. So as I said, in Halifax, we have three other post-secondary education institution. We have about 40 to 50,000 students in Halifax. So that is almost like 10% of this population. And as I said, it's a very student-friendly city. The mayor of Halifax every year hosts an international student welcome to make you feel connected to the community as well. So these are some pictures in summer. So this is basically the Halifax harbor front. You see that bridge that goes to Dartmouth. This is the Halifax skyline, and you'll see like a lot of activities that are happening. There are lots of water sports that are happening. This is the ferry that goes between Dartmouth and Halifax. And this is basically a bunch of students, these are a mix. We have students from India, Bangladesh, Mexico, Canada, and America here. Some of these are my friends. Now let's talk about St. Mary's University. What do we have to offer you at St. Mary's University? So St. Mary's is one of the oldest undergraduate universities in Canada. Roughly 1/3 of our student population is international, coming from 115 different countries. So we have about 7,000 students, and of that, 1/3 is international. Our campus is located within one city block. So this is basically the St. Mary's campus. It's a small campus, and most of the buildings are interconnected, which means during winter, you don't have to step outside in order to go to your classes. You might be living in Rice Residence, the 17-story building, and if your class is in Burke Building, you can take the pathways that are connected and be here without stepping outside. As I said, we have co-op opportunity, co-op or co-op internship available in all our faculty, and we are Nova Scotia's second largest university in terms of research. And this is one of my favorite thoughts, because if you see, our campus is built around our Huskies field that you can access, and it's a 5-minute walk from this beautiful scenic Point Pleasant Park, which overlooks the Atlantic Ocean, which is a beautiful thing. So on good days, you can just basically walk 5 to 10 minutes, and you're basically at the beach here. There's also a beach right here, which is very, very nice. We are very internationally connected. As I said, we have students coming from 115 different countries and alumni network of 54,000. So no matter where you go in the world, you can connect with a St. Mary's University alumni. And then we partner with over 100 universities across the world for exchange programs, if you're someone who's interested. Some of these exchange programs can be very cheap and affordable. It can be even cheaper than your tuition fee in St. Mary's University. For example, I went to China for a month, and it was a great experience that I had. So definitely you can look around all the exchange opportunities that are there. Now at St. Mary's University, we heavily invest in experiential learning. What we mean by experiential learning is we just don't want you to study and come to class. right for your exam, we want you to implement those learning in-class learning in solving real-world problems, whether it be through a job or volunteer opportunity or research opportunity. So we have co-op, as I said earlier. So as a student, you international student, you have to enroll for the co-op program, and you can do 4 months co-op terms up to 1 year. So as a student, let's say if you're coming in for a 4 years undergraduate, you can take 1 year extra and work during those time. The benefit of that is basically you're already working as a co-op student with some of the major businesses or government institutions that are already there. So when you graduate, the chances of you getting a job right away becomes much higher. During co-op, you're working full time. These positions are normally have a higher wage than and basically an odd job, what we call it, like for example, working at the cafeteria or restaurant. These are more higher paying jobs because you're a co-op student, right? And you can basically use this fund towards your studies, or if you have any other projects that you have. Co-op is a great one. We have research opportunities. As early as your second year undergraduate, you can do a lot of research with your professor, and we have lots of fieldwork opportunity as well. So first, now we'll go to the faculty, basically faculty introduction. So first up, we have the Sobey School of Business. So St. Mary's University is home to one of Canada's top leading business school. It's called the Sobey School of Business. We are AACSB credited, which means that it's a gold standard for business schools around the world, and only 5% of the business schools around the world have this accreditation. What do we mean by that? What does it mean to you? It means that our programs are basically vetted every year to make sure that we are meeting the current standards. There's a lot of investment that is going towards teaching and teaching experience so that your learning can be more interactive. There are funding that can go, for example, students for finance and accounting. We have a portfolio of $500,000 that you'll be managing on behalf of the university to gain you real world experience. So some of the majors that we offer, core major that we offer is basically accounting, economics, finance, but we have a CIS, computing information system as well. We have a general business studies, marketing management, and we have a certificate in human resource management as well. Certificate cannot be done standalone, which means that you cannot just do the certificate. You have to basically enroll for a 4-year bachelor's degree. And if you think that maybe if you're majoring in accounting and you want to pair that up with a human resource management certificate, you can do that as well. Next up, we have the Faculty of Arts. And in the Faculty of Arts, you'll be studying in the areas of humanities, social studies, languages, culture. Students coming in from Southeast Asia, like Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh, sometimes we don't understand what is a faculty of arts or what arts entail. Normally, we think it has to involve with like painting and all those creative arts side. But the arts, basically, it's more than that. It allows you to look at a bigger scope at a problem. What we are seeing is that in Canada, most of the top 25 CEOs in Canada had an arts degree at some point in their life, because it allows you to look at a problem with a bigger lens. And we are proud to have one of the largest arts faculty in Atlantic Canada. So these are all the majors and minors certificate program that you can basically access. Some popular arts program are psychology, political science, criminology. For students, for those who are looking to go to law school, law school in Canada works a little differently, which means that you cannot get direct admission out of high school as an international student to law school. So you have to do an undergraduate, 4-year undergraduate, and then you have to go to law school. So we have a pre-law stream, which is basically in your 3rd and 4th year, you take some courses that will help you prepare to go to law school. Even to go to law school, you have to write LSAT, which is required. But we have all these additional minors that are available as well. Any questions so far? I know it's a lot of information in one go, but at this point, just wanted to check that if anybody has any question that I can answer, or if you want me to go ahead, I can go ahead and wait for the end for all your questions. Mohib raised hand. Mohib, if you can ask your question there.
Hello.
Hi, Mohib.
Well, I want to, resolve my query about this university. I'm actually
Mhm,
studying graphic designing. I'm in bachelor's degree and in third year. So I
mhm.
wanted to ask if there is any specialization in your given university, the St. Mary's.
In graphic designing?
Yeah, graphic designing, visual, or basically, anything related to graphic.
We have so you're already doing your bachelor's. So unfortunately, we don't have anything that is related to graphic designing. We do have a master's in computing science and data analytics, but that is more towards computing language, machine learning, AI, and
Yeah.
analysis as well. So unfortunately, Mohib, we don't have the program that you're looking for.
Nothing related to, the arts kind.
As I said, basically, in Canada, not every institution cannot provide everything. We have something in Nova Scotia that is called a NASCAD. It's basically Nova Scotia College of Arts and Design. So that's where basically you study more towards graphic designing and all those. So NASCAD is a dedicated college that is basically there to provide this.
All right, thank you.
Mhm. All right, so I'll quickly go over with the rest of my presentation. So we talked about business school, and we talked about the Faculty of Arts. Now we have the School of Environment. We are seeing with all these environmental issues that are going around the world, Canada is investing more and more in environmental studies. So there's a lot of funding that is coming. So the School of Environment is a great place. You can either do environmental studies or environmental science. The studies are more policy related, which is more on the arts focused, and whereas the environmental science is more focused on the science part, heavy on science. So you can basically access those two in the School of Environment. Then we have the Faculty of Science. Our Faculty of Science, it is one of the best in Atlantic Canada. Our programs are all up to date. Our class sizes are small. It's not a big class size that you're in. Our average class size are 40 to 60 students. So you get that one-on-one time with your professor and your lab instructor. So these are some of the majors and minors that are being offered at this point. So astrophysics is very popular, chemistry, computing science is very popular. As I said, it has more to do with machine learning, AI, and all those. And then we have a pre-health stream as well. So as I said, like law and health sciences are something that you cannot access right away in Canada. You need to have a university degree. So there's basically a program that doesn't guarantee you a spot in health school or med school, but it allows you to prepare for it. And then you have to write your MCAT. And then we have a certificate in forensic science that you can pair up with any of these majors if you want to get an additional certificate. Then we have the School of Engineering. Engineering works a little differently at St. Mary's University. We offer a diploma in engineering, which means you'll do your year one, year two at St. Mary's University. And then you will transfer for your third and fourth year, either Dalhousie University, which is right beside us, for your specialization, or University of Windsor. Now, a lot of students might ask, if I eventually go to Dalhousie or University of Windsor, why do I have to come to St. Mary's? Basically what we say is that engineering is a very rigorous program. It takes a lot of attention. So St. Mary's being a smaller school, if you do your first 2 years, you get more hands-on learning experience with your professor, and then you can transfer off with the cohort of students that you're in to Dalhousie or University of Windsor. So the transition is much smoother. It's a very smooth transfer process, and then you can also transfer up to 5,000 of your scholarship to Dalhousie University or University of Windsor as well. So that basically wraps up all the academic programs that we have. As a university, we also realize that there's it's a big transition when you're coming in from high school or an international a student coming in from high school to Canada can face a lot of difficulty. So there's a lot of student support that are available. These can be academic and non-academic as well. So we have the academic advising, the African Descent Student Advisor, Center for New Students Counseling Center. So these are just to name a few, if you need to use them. We have the Financial Aids and Awards Office if you have any financial difficulty. And then we have the Math Skills Center, the Writing Center, International Student Center if you need any help. So these doesn't list all the services and support system that we have, and you don't have to pay anything. Sorry, my apologies. Just give me 1 second. Right. So yeah, these are some of the student supports that are available for you to use. And then up we have student life. As St. Mary's is a very small university, we basically, there is a life. So obviously you have your academic life, which is basically involves your studies and everything, but we do realize that you have a student life as well, which is basically more than your academic. Some of the way that we encourage our students to basically have a very vibrant student life is to get involved on campus, do a lot of volunteering, exploring the campus, live in residence. This is something, if you can, I would definitely recommend you to live in residence, meet with your professor. So this is something that I really wanted to mention, that, you know, the professors are out there to help you. So introduce yourself to your professor in the first class, and you'll see that, you know, you make that connection right away. You can join a team, club, or society if you want to, getting connected, and also taking parts in Welcome Week. So every year before September, we do have a Welcome Week events of 10 days. And these ranges from academic to non-academic. And what you can do is basically, it allows you, even before going to class, you can make some friends. So basically the first class doesn't seem very stressful, because you already know 1 or 2 people in that class that you have met during Welcome Week as well. These are some snapshots of Welcome Week. Residents, we have about 1,000 students living on residence. Why live in residence? There are a few reasons that I'll give, and if it's possible to live in residence, at least for your first year, I would definitely recommend that. So basically, if you live on residence, you're a few steps away from all the on-campus activities. So, you know, there are a lot happening around campus. You can make friends from Nova Scotia and all across the world. The ratio of students, international students, is same on residence as well. Almost 30% international students live on residence. You can make an impact. We have flexible meal options for all students. So we have a meal hall where we have vegetarian, halal, vegan options. So if you have any dietary restrictions, we have 2 on-campus dietitians that you can basically work with. It's a safe and welcoming environment. There's 24-hour security. And another thing that I think why you should live in residence in your first year is getting an apartment in Canada can be difficult. Unless you have a friend here who can arrange everything beforehand for you. Getting an apartment, you have to get your own power line, your own Wi-Fi. You have to buy in all the furnitures in your first year. It can be difficult while you're trying to basically adjust to this new life in Canada. Living off campus can be difficult, and living off campus used to be cheaper before, but now it's almost the same as living on campus. So first year, I would suggest to live on campus if you have the option. It will allow you to basically make new friends, and then after first year, once you know the place, once you know the city, the university, and everything, you can slowly transition out of university of campus as well. This is a picture from one of our rooms on the 22nd floor. It overlooks the Halifax Harbor, which is a beautiful scene, and it overlooks the Huskies field as well. Clubs and societies, as I said, a great way to basically give back to the community is basically volunteering, and volunteering is well received in anywhere in Canada. So any volunteering that you do, it can be academic, non-academic. So we have about 60 to 70 clubs and societies that you can be a part of. And if you don't think that there's a society that you feel associate, you can open up your own society, which is very easy to do that as well. We have a very good athletic program as well. We have a very good varsity sport, which is professional level sport. For example, soccer, which is football. Then we have the American football, basketball, volleyball. That is all there. There is men's and women's team as well. We have club level sport as well, intramural sport. We have cricket. So there was a huge community from Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh. So we formed intramurals cricket. There were about 70 to 80 students that used to come every Monday to play under floodlights. This was a very nice time of the year. We got to know each other, make friends. It was a very nice feeling that we had. I'm not sure if it's continuing anymore. And then you have the fitness classes as well, which is like all paid for. It's embedded in your tuition fee. So if you want to go for a Zumba class or a cardio mix, you can always do that. All our varsity games are free for students. So basically you don't have to pay anything to watch any of these home games. So you can go make some plans with your friends. We have a NHL size ice hockey ring as well, if you're someone interested in ice hockey. So that's pretty much our university athletic program. So for admissions, basically, for British pattern education, if you're someone who's coming in from O level or A level, we will look at a mix of your O and A level courses. Now, get admitted in the university, if you have a minimum of C in your O level English, you might not need an English proficiency test. But I know for some of you who are looking to explore the SDS program, which is a much faster process, it is preferred that you have an IELTS with a 6.5 with no band less than 6. For students coming in from the national curriculum, we do require a IELTS or an English proficiency test, and we are looking for 5 subjects with 80%, with 70% or above. So for admissions, if you're looking to get into the arts program, we will need your grade 12 or high school English language and 4 additional academic courses. And these are the best 4 that we'll take. For commerce, we need English, general math, and 3 additional academic courses. For science, we need English, science, math, or higher, or pre-calculus, 1 academic science. It can be physics, chemistry, or biology, and 2 additional academic courses. And for engineering, we need English, pre-calculus or calculus, chemistry, physics, and 1 additional academic course. And the average that we're looking for in these are 70% with no course less than 60%. That's the average we're looking for. Now let's talk about scholarship. So if you're someone, if you haven't, my apologies, I think information hasn't been updated here. So if you're someone who has an average of 85% or higher, you can get a renewable entrance scholarship ranging from $2,000 to $7,000. So again, you don't have to apply separately for this. When you apply to St. Mary's University, you're automatically assessed for renewable entrance scholarship. And then we have other named entrance awards as well that you can be a part of. You can apply once you are accepted to St. Mary's University. There are about 1,000 on-campus jobs that are available that you can access. Another thing that I just quickly wanted to mention is that a lot of international students ask, when is the deadline to apply? We don't have a deadline to apply by, but we have a strict deadline on scholarship. So if you're someone who is high achieving, you have an average of 85% or above, and you're looking to get some scholarship, you have to make sure that you apply before March 1st. So before March 1st, that's the deadline that you have. That's what you have to keep in mind. So the March 1st deadline is for September intake, and July 1st is the deadline for January intake. Quickly wanted to mention that. And then actually tuition fee is not revised here as well. So the tuition fee, this is based on commerce, but I'll actually come back to the tuition fee later, give you more accurate information on tuition fees as well. So that's the presentation on my end. If you have any questions, you can definitely get in touch with Mr. Farooq. But if you have any other question, you can email me at qazi.rahman@smu.ca, and I can help you with any other questions that you might have. Just give me 1 second. I'll quickly pull out the tuition fee brackets for you. Just give me 1 second. So that's the presentation from my end. Any questions there so far?
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Sir, I'm looking for, please tell me for BBA students, as
Sorry,
I'm
can
doing
you-
bachelor, as I am doing bachelor from Iqra University, Karachi, Pakistan, and
Okay.
I am searching for Canada. What can I do?
So are you looking to do a credit transfer, or you are looking to come for master's?
No, sorry, for credit transfer.
So yes, for credit transfer, we will accept up to maximum 60 credit hours. So depending on how many credit hours you're done back in your program right now, we will accept maximum 60 credit. So the way the credit transfer process works is that first you have to apply to St. Mary's University with your high school grades and everything, with your IELTS. Once you are accepted, we will send your like bachelor's in progress transcript to our credit assessment department, and they will look at your courses and tell you that, okay, out of the 70 courses that you have done back in Pakistan, we will accept 50, around that. Like, so they'll do an assessment and let you know on that. Does that is that clear to you?
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. So as I was saying, I'll quickly share my screen here, just to give you an idea on the tuition fee, so that you have a well-rounded idea here. So if you're someone who's looking to study arts and environmental studies, so this is based on 30 credit hours or 1 year of basically your studies or 10 courses. Your tuition fees are around 21,240. For commerce, it's 23,000 almost. Science, 22,000, and for engineering, you take one course extra, so that's why it's a little higher, which is 25,000 almost. Then you have your mandatory student fees. So this is basically around $1,600. This includes your health and dental insurance. Just let me. So yeah, your health and dental insurance is included in $1,600 as an international student. You have to have a health and dental insurance, and then all your bus pass, gym pass, and everything. Residence and meal is basically additional 13,500 if you're someone who's looking to stay in residence. You can do that. One thing that I quickly wanted to mention that I forgot, that the academic year in Canada is basically 8 months. So it starts from September, so September till April, and from May till August, it's optional, which means that we do have classes going, but as an international student, if you want to take the summer break and work full time, you can do that as well, which is again a great thing for students who are looking to maybe finance a portion of their studies in Canada. So you have the summer to basically work full time if you're looking to do that as well. Now you can work full time any time of the year, but in summer it's a beautiful time of the year. You can do that. So these estimates that I'm giving you is basically for tuition. It's 1 year, but residence and meal is 8 months. So that's something that I wanted to mention, is that this 13,000. But if you live off campus, that can be, and this doesn't take into account any scholarship that you might get. So as I said, there is no full-fledged funding in Canada. Obviously, we can give you some scholarship that will offset your tuition, but there is a portion of the tuition fee that you have to pay, whether it be through your parents, whether you can contribute towards it. So that's something you have to keep in mind. What I'll do is that I will sent the link of this, our international student brochure. So if you can see it, it has all the information that I went through today. It has all the information here. So I will send it to the group chat if you want to look at it, and it will give you all the information that I went through over today. You'll get that there. So I quickly wanted to show you a video of our St. Mary's University quickly. If you all just give me 1 second. Sorry. And we just had the graduation happening this year, so I will
नहीं तो कितने साल से मैं कह रही हूँ 25 साल से पढ़ लेंगे इमिग्रेशन ले लो स्कॉलरशिप मेंटेन करके कुछ चीज है.
All right, I think I'm having some glitches on my side with this video, but I'll stop sharing. I'll open the floor to for any questions that you might have. Okay, I'm
Hello,
seeing
sir.
some questions here. Hi there.
Sir, what about the master studies?
So for masters, I'll quickly show here what master's program do I have. I primarily work with undergraduate students, but I can show you quickly the master's program that we have here. So master's works a little differently, which means that every master's program has a different requirement. So these are some of the master's program that you have. So if you go to the St. Mary's website, so if you go to smu.ca, and you hover over future student and you click on explore all our programs, you can see basically these are all the undergraduate program that we have, and for masters it's undergraduate. So these are the programs we have in the arts faculty. Again, there's no standard requirement. Each program has a different requirement. Someone talked about Masters of Finance. Actually, the program director for Masters of Finance is Dr. Kokar, Abdul Rahman Kokar, who's from Karachi, Pakistan as well. He's a great resource. We have a lot of Masters of Finance students coming in from Pakistan. So you can definitely explore the program. If you click here, you can find all the information about the Masters of Finance program here.
Can I interrupt you for 1 minute regarding?
Yes, Mr. Farooq, please go ahead.
Luckily, Dr. Saab is coming in Karachi, Islamabad and Lahore. He will be in Karachi on 2nd of February in Marriott Hotel. He will be in Lahore, Awari Hotel on 4th of February, Saturday. And then 5th February, he will be in Serena Hotel. So students can meet him for the master degrees, especially MS, Master in Finance.
Yes, MFin, the MFin program.
Yes.
He will. Dr. Kokar is a great. I was with him in Pakistan last time around, last year May. He will be a great resource. So that's basically. But then again, for each other program, let's say if you're interested in the MBA or EMBA, whichever program you're interested in, if you click on these, you can see all the information that will be required. As I said, unfortunately, I primarily work with undergraduate. I don't have a whole lot because, as I said, all these programs have different requirements, different IELTS requirements. So for that, I would definitely encourage you to explore this page that has all the programs that we have here.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are audible there.
Sir, thank you very much for your time. I just want to know 2 or 3 questions, which is particularly about master's program. If you answer me, is there any bursaries available for or entrance scholarship available for the students?
In masters?
Yes, sir.
That's a very good question. What I'll tell you is that there is. some scholarship, but again, it differs from program to program, right? And there's, as I said, for undergraduate, we have a standard scholarship, we have a standard requirement for each faculty. But for masters, it's different. It's more program based. So let's say, for example, if you come to finance, they might have a different scholarship for you than someone in the MBA. So what you have to do is that you have to basically explore these, and the scholarship amount varies as well. So that's what it is. But
Sure.
what I know is that there are some scholarship. It might not be a huge amount. It definitely will help you, but not something that can be fully funded masters if you're looking for any of those.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir, I have already started my application for Masters in Business Analytics,
Mhm.
and I didn't find any option on the website for the bursaries or entrance scholarships. Secondly, sir, I just want to know the processing time for the application. If I just applied today or a day after tomorrow, what would be the time, expected time of processing for the application? Please
So
answer.
I think normally the processing time is around 1 month to 1.5 months. It might take a little longer because, as I said, master's program are more very program specific based. So they're looking at a pool of students. These are professionals that a lot of these are professional students that are coming through. So they do some vetting. There's a committee that works, whereas basically undergraduate level is very straightforward. But for masters, as I said, it will take around 1 to 1.5 months.
Sure, sir. Sir, can you please mention any person for which I can ask him specific question?
So you're applying for computing and data analytics?
No, sir. It's Masters in Business Analytics.
Oh, MBAN, Masters in Business Analytics.
Yes, sir.
Yes. The contact person for that will be, you can reach out to, so the general email that is here, I can give it to you. I know Professor Michael Zhang is the coordinator for that. So you can send your email to info.sobigred@smu.ca, and I think there's someone who's basically forwarding all those. But let me see if I can. And can you? Let's do one thing. Why don't you send me an email and I'll find the contact person and get your email to them if that works better.
Sure, sir. That would be great. Very wonderful.
Okay, perfect. I just put my email address on the chat here. So you
Sure,
can just
sir.
send me an email and I'll find the contact information and I'll send it to you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks
No
for your help.
problem. No problem.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi there, Hamza.
Hello. Ji, sir. Sir, actually, I've done my bachelor's in computer science from Karachi, Pakistan Air Force University, and I need to ask that if I can apply for masters in computer science or data science in St. Mary University.
Definitely, like Hamza, like you definitely can apply.
My GPA is 2.6, 2.7.
Out of 4.
Yes, sir.
I think that's a very good CGPA. What I can do is I can give you the contact information for the program that we have, Computing Science and Data Analytics. I think the program coordinator, her name is Neelam Pal. So you can send her an email and basically she can help you with all those information. It is, let's see. So I just send the email address here, neelam.pal@smu.ca. She's the program secretary for MSc Computing Science and Data Analytics.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Hello, sir.
Yes, hi there.
How are you, sir? Fine, feeling well.
Alhamdulillah, feeling well.
Sir, I'm doing my bachelor's of civil engineering from BUTEMS. It's almost my final year. Then I will be graduating from BUTEMS. So can I take admission in MS in structural engineering in St. Mary University? And what will be the procedure and what will be the criteria for that? and my CGPA till now is 3.3.
Okay, that's a really good CGPA. Unfortunately, at this time at St. Mary's University, as I said, we don't have a full-fledged engineering school. Unfortunately, structural engineering program or the master's program that you're looking for, we don't provide it. I think Farooq Saab works with few other universities, so he might have somebody in his contact that might provide like a master's in the field that you're looking for. But I really do apologize. Unfortunately, at St. Mary's, we don't have any of that program that you're looking for. So I think there are some questions in the chat here. I'll quickly try to get through them.
Kindly, sir, I just want to ask one thing more.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Sir, can you give Farooq Saab contact number or email address? Through that, I can contact him.
Yes,
so
yes,
Farooq
yeah.
Saab is right here. So I think he can provide his contact information. Farooq Saab, over to you.
Okay. Yes, I'm writing in the chat box.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Yes, walaikum assalam.
Sir, right now I'm currently studying in A levels. I'm in my first year. So I wanted to ask that are any co-curricular activities required? Like, is SAT required?
So SAT is not required for St. Mary's University, and I know it's not required for any institutions in Canada as well. I'm not again, don't quote me on it, but for St. Mary's, we don't need an SAT. For extracurricular activity, if you're looking for a renewable entrance scholarship, we don't need your extracurricular. But let's say if you're planning to apply for some other scholarships, which are community-based, for those, definitely your extracurricular, or let's say if you're applying for the presidential scholarship, which is the highest level of scholarship that you might get. For that, you will basically need your extracurricular activities. Does that answer your question?
So like if you want to pursue engineering, software engineering and AI-based learning in the future, so what kind of co-curricular activities are best?
So as I said, when it comes to co-curricular activities or learning, extracurricular activities, we don't put any binding on what we need. To be honest, we accept any co-curricular activities that are there. But let's say, for example, like the areas that you are talking about, if you go to like, for example, sorry, what was the program that you were interested in again? If you can just remind me quickly.
Software engineering or
software
AI-based
engineering.
learning.
So let's say, for example, like something like a small certificate that you have done, like on, let's say Java or C++ or any of the machine learning, right? Or you have learned some coding, like basic coding yourself at this point. So those definitely come in handy for you. So anything that is related to the field, right? If you, let's say, have done like a small crash course or like a seminar on AI. So, the fact that you are present there and, you know some information, basic knowledge about AI and machine learning, it always adds up to in your profile for CS.
Okay, sir. That answers it.
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry. Wait. Any other questions there?
Sir, what is the duration of MS in civil engineering in Canada, sir?
2 years.
I think 2 years. I think mostly in Canada, depending on which institution you go to. Unfortunately, we don't have anything in civil engineering in Canada, but it's around 1.5 to 2 years. Someone asked if we offer BSc cardiac. It just popped away. Just give me 1 second. I'm trying to find that question. Unfortunately, so anything that is related to health sciences or medical, Unfortunately, St. Mary's doesn't provide it because in Canada, there are only few institutions that are permitted by the government to provide medical sciences or health sciences program. So it will be one of the U15 universities. So for example, I don't know if Farooq Sab, if you have any contact, any universities in your contact that would basically have the health sciences program, you can definitely forward it to the students. Someone spoke about computing science. So okay. So for bachelor's in computing science, as I said, we will look at your grade 12 or your O-level or A-level results, like a mixture of your O-level and A-level. So the 5 courses that we will look for is your English language, is your higher math or further math or science math, and we need 1 science, which can be physics, chemistry, or bio, and 2 additional academic course. Credit transfer for BBA. So yes, you can do a credit transfer from your BBA. The way credit transfer works is that you have to apply first, get accepted, and once you're accepted, we will send you in your transcript for credit assessment. And then okay. So I think Shakil was asking about the master's in data sciences. So I put her contact information on the chat here. Her name is Neelam Pal. If you get in contact with her, she's the program secretary. She can help you with all those details that you're looking for. Sorry, just give me 1 second here. Okay, I got the chat here. Just give me 1 second. So for data science, Neelam Pal is the contact. I just put her email address on the file here. If you can reach out to her, that will be amazing. Can you give information about agricultural science? Zishan, unfortunately, we don't have an agricultural science program at St. Mary's University, but definitely get in contact with Mr. Farooq. He will be able to guide you on that if there's an institution that provide agricultural science. But for environmental science, we do have an environmental studies school. If you're someone who's interested in environmental science, that will be amazing. Sir, I get scholarship. I got 78% in HSC. So Hassan, the scholarship that we were basically what average that we need is basically 85% or higher. So for what do you call it? The 5 courses that we are looking for, if you have an 85% or higher in those 5 courses, we can definitely offer you a scholarship somewhere between $2,000 and $7,000. Yeah, so Shakil, we don't have a BSc in cardiac technology. That's not something we provide. Can you please elaborate on co-op? And secondly, we cover our own tuition fee job by studies. Okay, this is a very good question that that someone asked here. Is that in Canada, is it possible to basically pay for your own tuition by doing job? So what I want to tell you in this case is that you know, just like any other parts of the world, expenses are on rise in Canada. So it is, I won't say it's impossible, but it's very difficult to basically pay for your own tuition, your own living, and then doing studies in Canada. At this point, like your rent is a lot higher. You know, if you're doing to look your groceries and things like that, that is very high. Tuition fees on the rise. So it is difficult, but it's not impossible, but definitely that's what it is. Co-op, again, doing co-op is a great, I think is a great aspect. So if you do your co-op, you can earn those money and invest towards your education, but that won't offset your tuition fully. You might have to talk to your parents and set that expectation that they might have to support you, every year, but then you will definitely try to offset it from your end. Okay. I think I have answered most of the questions here. Any other questions? Fawad, you asked about data science or data analytics. What I have done is that I have sent in, I'm just putting in the thing, basically the page for our MSCDA program, Masters in Computing and Data Analytics. If you click the link, or you email Neelam Pal, you can find all the information about Masters in Computing and Data Analytics. So that's the one. So any other questions for me so far? Inshallah, if everything goes well, I'll be in Pakistan in February, end of February. Mr. Farooq Saab and I, Farooq Saab, an education concern is our partner, official partner in Pakistan from St. Mary's University. And we work with him. There's a lot of students here that has come through him, so he's a very reliable source that you can talk to, and we will definitely go on from there. And yeah, let me know if you need any help. I have posted my email address. I'm posting it again, just in case if you want to reach out or chat about anything real quick. So that's it from my end. Farooq Saab, over to you if there are any questions and if you want me to stick around.
Yes, please, student, feel free to ask any question. I just want to add something about Student Direct Stream, SDS policy, under which Pakistani student will apply visa. So dear student, there's so many different news, sometimes wrong news. So just keep in mind 3 basic points. Number 1, you must have IELTS with 6.5 band overall, or 6 overall, and no less than 6 in any module. Number 2, you will pay your first year tuition fees in advance before applying the visa. Number 3, you will open your bank account in a Canadian bank and deposit 10,000 Canadian dollar for your living cost. तो अगर आप ये 3 रिक्वायरमेंट पूरी कर दें, एक IELTS, 1 year की ट्यूशन फीस एडवांस में, और ये सिर्फ 1 year की ट्यूशन फीस एडवांस देनी है, 2nd, 3rd and 4th year की ट्यूशन फीस एडवांस में देने की जरूरत नहीं है, आपको इंस्टॉलमेंट की ऑप्शन मिल जाती है। और IELTS के लिए एक चीज जरूरी है कि चाहे आप ओ लेवल के बैकग्राउंड से हो, चाहे अमेरिकन एजुकेशन से, आपने सिर्फ और सिर्फ IELTS करना है। नो डिलिंगो, नो टोफल, नो PTI, नो लैंग्वेज सर्ट, ओनली IELTS। और उसमें भी 6.5 बैंड ओवरऑल और किसी मॉड्यूल में 6 से कम ना हो। So please feel free to ask any question about these 3 points. SDS policy is very simple and straightforward. Visa ratio is very high. Our students are getting visa within 21 days, sometimes 12 days, without parents' bank statement and without any interview. So इस SDS policy में ना तो वो इंटरव्यू लेते हैं, ना ही पेरेंट्स की बैंक स्टेटमेंट की रिक्वायरमेंट है। हाँ, अगर किसी पेरेंट्स की बैंक स्टेटमेंट बहुत अच्छी है, लाइक 5-6 मिलियन है, तो उसको एज ए एडिशनल डॉक्यूमेंट्स के तौर पे लगाने में कोई हर्ज नहीं, अदरवाइज ये मैंडेटरी रिक्वायरमेंट अब नहीं रही। ओके, सो मेरे ख्याल में मैंने आपको सादगी से इसलिए समझाया ताकि आपको समझ आ जाए, लेकिन फिर भी कोई कंफ्यूजन है तो प्लीज मुझे बताइए।
What I can add to that, what just Farooq Saab said, is that the immigration policy normally is very complicated, but with the SDS policy, if you're someone serious and you can meet those criteria, it's a very good program that is there in store for you. Because normally the student visa process, I'm an international student, former international student from Bangladesh. We don't have the SDS program. So we have to provide a lot of documents, especially financial documents, in order to show the financial solvency. But for Pakistani student, which is one of the SDS countries, the process has been very simplified. So if you're someone who's looking, talk to your parents, and that this is definitely a route that will be very easy for you if you're looking to
Yes.
come to Canada.
मास्टर डिग्री के लिए चूंकि डायरेक्टर मास्टर डिग्री के जो डायरेक्टर हैं सेंट मैरीज यूनिवर्सिटी के डॉक्टर रहमान खोकर साहब, वो तशरीफ ला रहे हैं कराची, लाहौर और इस्लामाबाद में। तो किसी भी स्टूडेंट ने मास्टर डिग्री में एडमिशन लेना है तो मैंने लिंक चैट बॉक्स में डाल दिया है, उसके मुताबिक प्री रजिस्ट्रेशन करा लें। मैरियट होटल कराची, अवारी होटल लाहौर एंड सरीना होटल इस्लामाबाद, इसमें उनका इवेंट है। तो उसमें उनसे आप मुलाकात करके अपना केस डिस्कस कर सकते हैं। और इंशाल्लाह काजी साहब is also coming at the end of this month or at the end of February next month.
Farooq, someone asked about the fee structure. I just posted a link on the chat. It's basically a
Okay.
link to our international view book. So if you
Okay.
click on that, and basically there's an arrow. If you go to the 6th page, you can see the tuition fee, what I just basically went over. So that's in there for you. So you have all the information that you're looking for. Obviously, if there's anything after that, if Farooq Saab and I can help, but we'll definitely try our best.
This is a poster for the seminar, Karachi, Lahore and Islamabad. I think students have each and everything.
Yes.
So,
all right, Farooq Saab. So what I'll do, I'll hop out if they might have some questions to you. And yeah, I've
Yes.
provided all the information from my end.
okay.
And we'll chat about that end of February trip as well. If you're free
Yes.
anytime, let me know.
Okay,
We can
right.
set a meeting.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. I
Okay.
really appreciate your time and patience.
Okay.
And I'll definitely get to meet you soon in Pakistan.
Okay. Right.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Assalamu
much.
alaikum, everyone.
Walaikum
Assalamu
assalam.
alaikum.